that there won't be massive surprises at the end of the day. As this person said, I did ring around to a few agents, and I got the sense that my agent was charging a little higher fee. However, as I came to understand, it was worth it. Okay. Well, let's look at those things that drive dissatisfaction. First of all, competitive or deceptive behaviors are a real turnoff for clients. And any suspicion that someone is running a double agenda or has a conflict of interest arouses suspicion. I don't think I have to tell you that people who function as education agents are often seen to run double agendas. I'm just going to read out to you now an exchange between one of the participants in a group and myself. Participant. They don't say to us if they get commissions. They just say, go to this school. They will look after you. Moderator. When you show up at the school, do they ask you if you have seen an agent? Participant. Yes, we give them the name. Moderator. Should agents have to disclose if they receive a fee? Participant. Yes, definitely. Did your agent offer other services? Did she offer you an apartment to rent? Yes, the participant said. She had several apartments. So this is where people begin to say, whose interest does this agent have in mind? Is it my interest in moving to this country, or is it her interest in either sending me to a particular school or in renting apartments? So being free and clear of conflicts is an important marker for clients. Quick and easy answers, which don't put applicants on a clear path to a visa, are a sure sign that things are going wrong. This person said, I looked on the internet, I looked in the subreddits, and I talked to a couple of them. I wasn't convinced. Everything was yes, yes, everything ready, quick. They were giving the answers before I'd even asked the question. So this example is the opposite of active listening. This is not listening at all and just basically trying to get someone in the door, get them signed up, not displaying that you'd heard their particular problems. And we're really just making a sell. The hard sell of either Australia for agents working overseas, or of international colleges by agents either overseas or here in Australia, really was a major turnoff. As this person said, there's a big difference between good and bad agents. The bad ones are all about sales, 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 whereas mine was a good one. He took tremendous pride in what he was doing. Also, people were turned off very much by receiving just generic information about the Australian immigration system. And this was a particular criticism of the initial consultation for a fee. And they range from $50 to $250. But they were very critical of that. Now let's just see here. Yes, here we are. All right, so now, I mentioned this earlier, this initial consultation for a fee. It really doesn't satisfy anyone at all. I mean, the price-conscious shopper might use an initial consultation as the entire advice they receive. So that's the university student who decides to pay $250 and go in and see someone, and that's going to be all the advice they get. But they tell us that that advice was not helpful, and what they really should have probably had was better advice about some of the dangers involved in going out on your own. Value-conscious shoppers might use an initial consultation to road test the advice. But like I say, neither will be satisfied. The price-conscious shopper will not get the desired benefit and will likely spend more. And the value-conscious shopper will have his or her trust shattered because they left with information of little to no value. Here are some quotes. You almost feel that they don't answer your questions on purpose so that they can get you back in there and charge you more money. And this other person said, I went in for an initial consult. It wasn't free, but it was cheap, maybe $50. However, the whole time I felt that they were buttering me up for the $300 visit, but I didn't learn anything at all. So this sort of peekaboo strategy of saying, we'll tell you just a little bit to get you back in, frequently backfires. Let me read you this longer quotation here, because I think it really shows what's going on in some of our major capital cities. It actually took me 3 attempts to get my migration agent. The first time, I Googled. The one I chose called themselves Sydney's most successful migration agent. I went to see them for an hour appointment, and I walked out with no clear idea of what I should do or any further information. It was a very rushed meeting, and most of it was spent telling me all about immigration and how it works. However, that really wasn't the information I was looking for. I was looking for a solution. It was an agency that specialized in the Chinese community, but that wasn't really mentioned in the website. The lady kept saying, that really isn't my specialty. So that was my first try. I wasn't going to pay another $250 and not really get anywhere. So I was recommended to somebody by a friend of friends. Again, he was a supposedly well-respected migration agent in the city. I went there and paid another $250. That was a little better. We started to get somewhere. He said there were options, but he wasn't 100% convinced that we could go get de facto. He was going to confirm it and get back to me, but he went on holidays instead. Then I spoke to his boss, who said that there was no way we would get it because we hadn't lived together for 12 months, and that he should never have said that. Again, I felt very deflated and annoyed because it was another $250 I'd spent on misinformation. Now let's remember, this person then went on, ultimately, to hire a proper agent and pay a proper fee for a proper service, because her attempts at cost saving had resulted in near disaster. Well, hygiene factors are always important in marketing. These are the things that people look for when they first walk in the door, but they quickly pale in significance as clients become more savvy and more educated about the sort of service that they're buying. But it could add peace of mind to themselves, but also things that they can say to their friends and family. Because friends and family are naturally concerned when a prospective migrant is hiring someone for such an important job. What do you say? Oh, well, they are registered with the MARA. You know, yes, that's important, and it might not mean very much to us, but it is something that you can say to your friends and family so that their concerns are put at ease. Qualifications are really just a tick a box. So they're expected more than they are valued, really. There was very low awareness of what qualifications might be required. But several of the people that we spoke to said that they suspected they were not overly rigorous. This person said, personally, I think there are too many RMAs. From what I see, it's too easy to get it. I don't think the qualifications are tough enough. Now, that said, a law degree was not seen as necessary to being a good migration agent, but the expensive lawyers were born when there were difficulties. Here are a couple of comments for those people who are lawyers who might be interested. I don't need my migration agent to be a lawyer. They can be together, but it's not necessary. I would expect an immigration agent to keep up with all the changes.